the birthday of the greatest woman ever. As we heard in the introduction, together with the birthday of our Blessed Mother, we also celebrate the birthday of our seminary, started in the year 1936. We are almost heading towards the 90th birthday of our seminary. In the recent endowment lecture, we learned that the seminary started with 24 seminarians, and Archbishop Louis Matthias, in his inaugural words, has said that each soul formed within these four walls will benefit the souls outside the world. And with this vision, the seminary has been started. So it's all a day to rejoice for all of us. And also today, we also celebrate the Girl Child Day, giving importance to the girl child. Recent articles and recent issues show us that stray dogs are given more importance than the girl children in India. Every sixth girl child is a victim of abuse. So we have a duty to work for the empowerment of the girl children. And as we are celebrating the birthday of our Blessed Mother, the Gospels have no indication of the birth of Mary. Only in the 2nd century, from the proto-gospel of James, we know Saint Anne and Joachim are the parents of Blessed Mother. And we recently celebrated their feast on July 26th. On the day's office of reading, Saint John Damascene tells, nature has made them sterile because they did not have children for a long time. Only in their old age they had conceived. But God made them fertile in their appointed time. And that is because the plan of God has to be fulfilled. If you read today's office of readings by Saint Andrew of Crete, he tells, the birth of Mary is a joyful prelude to the foreordained union of the Word with flesh. So Mary is chosen to give birth to Jesus. It's all the plan of God. And Mary, for this purpose, is given singular graces. You know, this is almost my 3rd homily in the seminary. Every year I'm only speaking on the birth of Mary. So it's both challenging and difficult for me. Because I have to update my homily. I can't repeat the same things. But this point has to be repeated. I'm repeating for the 3rd time now. Mary is given the singular graces. The grace of prevenient grace. The second one is the redemptive grace. Prevenient graces, all of us who are conceived at our very birth of when we are conceived, we contract the original sin. And Mary is preserved. She is given the grace of preservation. She is protected. She is prevented from that original sin. So that's the singular grace God has given to her. And that makes her very, very special. That's why she is called the Immaculate Conception. Now the second singular grace God gives is redemptive grace to her. Now, redemptive grace, in St. Paul tells in the letter to the Romans chapter 5 verse 12, all men have sinned in Adam. That is, everyone who is born a sinner. And Mary is not born a sinner, but still needs the redemption of Jesus. So how did Mary get the redemption of Jesus? Thanks to the Franciscan theologian Don Scotus. He says that God, in all his power, he has given the grace of redemption, the merits of death and resurrection of Jesus to Mary even before the death and resurrection of Jesus. So that makes her very special. She too received the redemption of Jesus. She is the greatest. She has experienced the greatest mercy. That's why she is called also the Mother of Mercy. And we see in the book of Judges, chapter 6, how the call of Gideon. God gives Gideon a sign with the fleece. Two signs. One sign is early in the morning, the dew falls only on the fleece where Gideon puts the fleece. And the neighboring land, there is no dew at all. So God reveals that he is with Gideon. The second sign is the dew is everywhere except on the fleece. That is, that the scholars say that God has preserved Mary from this original sin to show that God is with her. That's why she is full of grace. St. Thomas Aquinas tells Mary is full of grace in three ways. First, she is filled with the grace as to her soul. Her soul totally belongs to God. The second one, she is filled with the grace as to her body, because her body, her flesh, is to be given to Jesus. The flesh and the blood of Jesus is the flesh and blood of Mary. And the third grace is that she is merited to clothe the eternal word with her and the benefit for all of us. She is given these graces for the redemption of whole mankind. And St. Ambrose tells Mary is a heavenly vessel, not because she does not belong to the earth, but the grace is heavenly. And I like to conclude with a miracle at Lourdes. This is an old miracle, probably you might have heard, but I thought it's wonderful to share with you all this time. When there is big Eucharistic procession going on in Lourdes, there was a mother who had a crippled child from birth. The boy is not able to walk. So this mother carries this 6 years old boy to the Eucharistic procession, and when the priest is bringing the Eucharistic Lord, she shows to this boy that is Jesus. And this boy, looking at the Eucharistic Lord, tells Jesus, if you don't cure me from my crippleness, I will tell your mother. And when the Eucharistic Lord is being taken further, this mother with the child carries him forward. Again, looking at the Eucharistic Lord, the boy shouts, Jesus, if you do not cure me, I will tell your mother. The third time, too, the mother takes the boy a little further to catch up the Eucharistic Lord. Again, the third time, the boy looks at the Eucharistic Lord and tells, Jesus, if you do not cure me, I will tell your mother. And suddenly, this boy is dropped from the arms of the mother and he's stable on the land. He's able to stand, his feet get strong, and this is a proved miracle. Dear friends, Mary does to us everything. And I like to conclude with you the prayer I heard from one of my classmates when I was doing Mariology. He prayed, "O Mary, help me to love your son Jesus as you loved. O Jesus, help me to love your mother as you loved."